Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, Pete, Jersey knife guy, he got a new Stockman knife in and he didn't realize that it was bigger than, he got a queen, but he was talking about Rough Ryder Stockmans. Now most of these are Rough Ryder marbles, which is also made, also a subsidiary of Rough Ryder. Queen City is a subsidiary. The only one that's different is Imperial. And before we get all into Imperial and everything, you know how I was talking about the rivets on those? Those pins are not always there on the Imperial cracked ice ones. They are on this one. So it's weird. There's two pins right there, and this one you can't see. So, I mean, it's the Stockman. It's cracked ice. It's Imperial, but it has pins. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it stands out if you look for them. So you can't just say that all Imperial, where is he? All Imperial cracked ice are fake pins, because they're not. And how do you tell the difference? You can't. I mean, really, they did a good job of faking it. Anyway, let's get back to Stockmans. Alright, so I like the Stockman pattern. My favorite of the Stockman pattern is the sow belly Stockman, because you still get all the blades, but you have that ergonomic curve there to it. Alright, so if you look at these knives and we line them up with the edge here, you find that, like this one's they call it like a gentleman's Stockman, you know. I think he had some name on it. Midnight Swirl, yeah. Midnight Swirl. Identify yourself. I gotta look at it here. RR959. So it's one of the earlier ones. It's got that sow belly shape to it. Now Stockman, a lot of times. Now here's one that's in the gunstock bone or whatever. You know, the checkered pattern, and it's a Stockman too. I don't think it says anything on its blade. It's another early pattern. There's no number there. There's no pattern number. Let me pull out some other blades. Stop earthquaking. No. See, on the early ones, they ow, that's when you're supposed to use one of those nail pull things, but we're not going to demonstrate that. But I doubt if the model numbers on that last blade there. It's got the little propeller shield on it. Will it close focus? Yes, it will. It's amazing. Yeah, but earlier pattern. So that's small. Now here's one that's kind of small also. This is the Desert Swirl or whatever. What does it say on it here? I think it just says Rough Ryder. If you focus up here, camera, please. Yeah, it's just a... Now, it's not really a sow belly. Even though it has a little bit of that curve, it's not really a sow belly. We've already looked at the Imperial. Now, here's a marbles. Now, this is the way they did their earlier tortoise shell. You know, and the tortoise shell's fine, but the marbles there, you know, well, this is Rough Ryder's coming out with one. This is marbles, but I mean, Rough Ryder's going to put, you know, the shield, the top, like looking at a turtle from top down, like looking at a shell. That'd be cool. I mean, that makes it stand out more. This is a marbles one, right? So it's about that size. And then this is significantly heavier because of the metal involved in the cover here. But this is the Southwest, Old Southwest, I think they call it. They got a frosting on this one. Yeah, Old Southwest. This is a pretty cool pattern, you know, for a Stockman. Of course, you got your spade blade. Let's see if we can get the. That was a sheep's foot. Here's a spare. So you can actually get to that one. And that curved part of that really helps you get into that nail nick there. Whereas if this is one time that maybe if you had a straight nail nick, you wouldn't be able to get in as much to it. But see how that curves everything? That's cool. These would make a good gift. They're a little bit heavier if you want to carry them around. Now this one comes in a decorative tin and everything, but you know it's checkered with that gun stock pattern. And is this the long rifle? It's probably got an etching on it telling us all about it. It's a Rifleman. It's a Rifleman one. So this one came in a little tin. All right, here's the Queen one. You can see that it's a little bit longer than the other ones. It's still got the, you know, this emblem that I glued on. Here's one that the emblem fell off, but it's in that old forge or forged in steel. I don't know. Anyways, it's carbon blades, but it's got that stamping on it like that, you know. So they're a little bit thicker, and this is, like I said, is not a sow belly. It's more like a sway. I don't know what it's called, but it's not really a sow belly. And we got more examples of sow bellies up there. But then you start getting into the bigger size ones that they don't always specify. This is an earlier Stoneworks one, but it's a Stockman. What is your number? You must identify yourself. RR915. So Pete was also talking about liking the Stoneworks. And if you go into Tobias's channel and you look, you have to search back and look at it. I think he's got the complete collection of Stoneworks. And he goes through, there's different variations because they'll screw with you. You'll be sitting there thinking, all right, I got this. And then they'll release another one, exact same thing, but they'll put different stones in there, different patterns. And they'll give it a different number. Or, like all these are like blue and red and yellow, they'll come out with like mother of pearl and green and call it a Stoneworks pattern. Even though it's malachite, you know, mother of pearl malachite, you know, green malachite. They had a malachite series, but boom, they come out with that. So if you look at that, you'll realize this, if you like the hunt and you like the chase, you know, of hunting down and chasing a collection, even though these are inexpensive, getting the complete Stoneworks collection is not easy. I mean, it's not easy to complete that. It's not like getting the 4 Barlow girls. It's much harder, much harder. All right, so here's another one that's, you know, like they're getting to be a little bit larger size. Now, I don't have any case Stockmans, you know, but I'm sure they come in different sizes. I know there's like a medium and a large or whatever. And this one, of course, has got the, you know, the Black Widow edge on it. And its model number is RR1671. So see, now here's another thing. If you're collecting these and you're storing it, you're like, oh, I'm going to put all my Stockmans together. What about all your, what if you're collecting the whole Black Widow series? Where's the lady leg going to go? Is it going to be allowed to be hanging out with the Stockmans? No, it's not a Stockman, is it? So then you're in that dilemma, because that's why I say this is not all of my Stockmans, because I know some are hiding out here somewhere, you know. And then here's another one that they start calling Texas-sized Stockmans, you know. And this, you're starting to get up to the big size, you know, 5 inches. Sometimes you can look. We don't know, you know, the pictures, it could be zoomed in. How big is that Stockman? Oh, it's huge, man. It's the size of a mountain, you know. You don't know. And if you think all of them are exactly the same, all of them have the same stuff, not necessarily. Sometimes they don't put a nail nick here. Sometimes their sheep's blade looks more like a cleaver in this one, you know. And then the spay blade can get almost being like a pin blade looking. The cool thing about this one is it's not that it's radioactive, but it fluoresces. I don't know where I got my light hiding. Oh, there he is. There he is. Let's see. Not. It actually does, you know, like do some glow in the dark stuff. Okay. Turn this light off. Turn this light off. Maybe we can see it with just that. See that? That's cool. They didn't advertise it because they weren't sure it was gonna do that on every knife. So they didn't want to advertise it and somebody get it and say, "That's not working for me." But you can see it. It is. It's not as good as this in its phosphorescence, but it does have it. All right, let's turn some lights back on. People want to see. They don't want to be left in the dark. All right, so you got that, and then this is basically, you know, the Copperhead series or whatever. Was it Copperhead? Red and yellow. Red and yellow, kill a fellow. Red and black, scratches back. I don't know what to call that. RR2275. So he has, you know, the dual nail nicks. I think it's pretty much the same blade, but we gotta figure out. Kind of a cleaverish, yeah, cleaverish guy. And then a more pin-shaped speary guy. Because the original intent of a spade blade is you want one side kind of like blunt. You want it all the way sharp up to the top edge. You don't want sharp. You don't want them cutting anywhere other than where you want to cut them, which is bad enough already. All right, so there you go. There's a little quick tour of not so quick tour of different Stockman patterns. As you can see, I like them. I collect them. Like I said, my favorite pattern of the Stockman I have is it's a sow belly because it. And then after that, you know, like if you like sow bellies, this knife is probably identical to that knife. There's just different covers, you know. So you're basically collecting covers after a while. Now, it's not always true because, like on this one, it's something different. You know, they made it a little bit different. And then also with the different sizes, you just got to look at the description and say, all right, you know, that one was 5 inches. What's this one? 3 1/4. You know, so yeah, there's a bunch of different. Stockman's a popular pattern. There's a bunch of them out there. I have nowhere near an extensive collection of them here, but it is a good pattern that if you like collecting different covers, but you want a useful knife, well then here, every one of them is going to be a Stockman, so it's going to have a, you know, nice, useful, all-around clip point, you know, blade for you to use. And then if you'd like to carry a worn clip or something, or a sheep's foot, but you know, you're basically getting 3 knives in the size of one package when you get multi-blade knives, you know. And then this one you can keep super sharp for spaying. You see how this one's more rounded up and the other one was more pointed? So you'll get subtle differences sometimes with the different blades and stuff. So there you go. Like I said, this is by no means extensive or complete or anything like that. It's just a little quick one because I'm waiting for 2 knives to come in. And it says like 3:15 is when they'll, you know, when the earliest they can arrive, and it's 11. It's like 11:30 here now, so I'm jonesing. Yeah, I know, I've got plenty of knives. I got lots of knives, but you know how it is. And with Amazon, they have a tracking thing. They'll show how many stops away it is. It hasn't reached that point yet, but when it starts getting close, they'll say it's 10 stops away. And you'll like, and it'll pull up a little map and it'll show you the truck and where you're at. And you're like, And then sometimes it'll get close and you'll see it. This is what's really frustrating. You're tracking it too much. Because let's say this is your house and this is the Amazon truck. And he's coming, and you look like, he's gonna get me, and then, hey, where you going? Like, come back, and it'll say, the driver has a few more deliveries to make before getting to you, and you're like, and if you just wouldn't have tracked it, wouldn't have noticed. But I also like, they take a photograph most of the time when it arrives, so you can tell, if it arrived at your, especially if you're in an apartment complex, if they misdelivered. And the sooner you find that out, the better, because sometimes they only did it across the hallway from you or downstairs. Sometimes they just did it who knows where they delivered it. It wasn't even in this complex, but you've got a little time to look at it. And if you see the photograph, it's not your porch, or it's not your doorway. Then sometimes you can help track it down if it shows any identifying signs around that. Because it doesn't show the door number. It just focuses down on your package laying there. And it says, we delivered your package. Tell us how we did. Was it great? You're like, yeah, it was great for the person that got it, but it wasn't me. I haven't had Amazon deliver near as much as regular postal, and UPS and FedEx are some of the worst ones. Sometimes they get here and sometimes they don't. But yeah, those two are the worst carriers that I have to deal with. But anyway, there you go. We got off on a tangent, as usual. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.